Yeah, what kind of woman wants to spend her life with a man who gets turned on by her kissing other men? I mean, that's really messed up. What are your
Isn't
kids going
it?
to think? What are you going to teach your kids? I mean, imagine that they have children and the children sees mom kissing other men. What kind of uh, what kind of
I,
leadership is that? Yeah, I can understand. I mean, that she has to go back into school on Monday morning and teach the kids, right? Um, you expect a teacher to have slightly higher moral standards um, th- than that. And on the other side, people have to have sort of a personal life as well, I suppose. But it's not really setting any great standards for anything happening at all. And if you I think that in all areas of life you have to be consistent. Um, and this means that I don't really agree with that it's a good idea to be a different person at work from who you are at home. I think that that creates inconsistencies in life, and I know that it's necessary for survival sometimes. I've seen people who are I've seen those teachers who are really really strict in the classroom, but then if you meet them outside of the classroom, they don't have the same rules, and it's just confusing. It's just it's who are you? Are you this authoritarian with all these strict rules, or are you somebody else? And
yeah.
I never know how to relate to those kinds of people because if you have lots of rules, it sort of suggests that you feel like you can't be yourself and that you're going to lose control. And if the only way to keep control is have lots of rules, then you can't really be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, you can't make friends. And I'm not saying that teachers should be friends to their students, but they should be friendly at least.
Hmm.
Because it's hard on both sides. It's already hard for the student. The school, I think the problem is with the school, not with the teachers in that kind of situation, because the school should have rules that everybody follows. That relates to life. I think young people are always testing everything anyway. Um, life itself is a series of tests and experiments that we go through to try to find answers to questions that we have. Um, I think that it it's all important, but it still all detracts from the fact that there's a subject and the students need to learn something about the subject, and the teacher's job, whoever they get, however they get them, is to transfer some level of information and knowledge to the students. And I think that that needs to be the key, or the core of each class needs to be some kind of transfer of information. Because if teachers have to spend all their time worrying about discipline, then nobody wins. No one's going to get anywhere. Um, it's a really difficult balance, and I think it takes years to develop good habits. There's very few teachers walk into school and and are just great at their job. There's very few teachers like that. Very few teachers have a great day every day. I remember from my experiences having classes that there would be good class, bad class. There'd be something would work, something would didn't work. There would be good class, bad class, average class. This worked, this didn't work. It was always constant self-assessment and a constant attempt to improve. And sometimes what you thought would work didn't work, and sometimes you didn't have a plan and things were great. Um, and I think that it takes between 5 to 10 years to to find your place as a teacher and to to have the self-awareness and understand what it is that you're doing and the place that you're in, and to see students grow if you stay in one place for a longer period of time. Because if you're in one school for 4 or 5 years, you're seeing students go from the age of say 12 to the age of 17, or the age of 13 to the age of 18 or something. And that's a huge level of development. And if they've got brothers or sisters, then you're seeing different people from families. And it's I think it's very important to be aware of that and to see how things are growing and how things are moving and how things are developing. And it's really, really hard, almost impossible, if you're just going in and out of the environment or if you're even new to something. Because how long does it take to really get to know somebody? It can take years. How long does it take to get respect? People shouldn't automatically give you respect or anyone respect. No one should get respect automatically. There's this idea in society that people in certain positions should have some level of automatic respect. Well, that's bullshit, right? All respect must be earned. End of story.
Mhm.
You have to prove that you deserve the position that you have. You have to prove it. It's not, whenever I meet somebody, I'm treating them as an individual. I'm not treating them as a job title or a position or if they've got letters before their name or whatever or anything like that. And it frustrates me when I've heard people, well, I listen to this person because they're an authority on this topic. Well, what do they really know? What kind of person are they? Tell me about them. Tell me about their background. Tell me about their history. Tell me about them. What do they like? What do they like? What do they not like? How well do you know them? Because if you don't really know somebody well, your opinion is not worth anything. And that's why it's always worth um, it's almost always worth with adults going slightly deeper with topics to see how much a person knows about something. Especially, and if you remember our first conversation today about the headmaster of the school, yeah, the headmaster is not happy about something. Well, it's worth exploring that. It's worth saying, oh, are all the jobs done? Is everything done? Is there anything else I can do for you? Okay. You look a bit stressed there. Is there something I can, is there a way that I can be of service to you? It's
Mhm.
always worth going that extra step to see what it is that's happening there, to get a little bit more information, to get more context. Like, you're stressed. Are you stressed because I'm late, or are you stressed? Because maybe it's like, maybe if I say, oh, are you stressed because I'm late? Maybe they'll say, no, 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 it's got nothing to do with you. I'm like, okay. Or maybe they'll say, yes, you're late, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe sorry, you're making a lot of noise there that's being picked up by the microphone. What was I saying? Yeah, it's worth exploring the reasons behind a person's feeling. Now, it might not be appropriate in certain situations, and it might not be appropriate with some students as well, because you don't know what box of dynamite you're going to open up when you ask certain questions to certain people. Yeah, and it might be that they're having a bad day and they don't have full emotional control and maybe they're going to break down or something, right? So you've got to move carefully in that area. And people are complex, and young people more complex because they're carrying with them probably a basket of emotions throughout their day that they're trying to manage. So that can be quite difficult for them. But it's definitely worth exploring with with people, even with colleagues. If colleagues seem frustrated about something, and find out what's behind the frustration, because the more information we have, the more the the more we can be sure and certain, and the more help we can give to people. And it sounds crazy, but we can actually help people if we know more about their problems. If we don't know
Mhm.
anything about their problems, we can't help them at all.
Mhm.
But if we know a little bit more, then maybe there's something we can do. And we don't have to help people personally. We can say to people, hey, you can go somewhere to get information about that. You know, or why don't you Google it, right? Or use one of the search engines online and have a look at it. Or maybe there's a Facebook forum that um, deals with that kind of topic or something like that. So, and you never know when the good advice is going to be acted on and something positive is going to happen as a result. So managing that, I think, is quite important.